Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Renee Mera. April is Autism Awareness Month, and according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 31 children in the United States will be diagnosed with ASD, and boys are 4 times more likely to be affected by ASD. Joining me today, my guest will be talking about how to address ASD through the lens of Ayurveda, acupressure, Marma points, yoga, and meditation. Joining me today, Vedya Priyabala. She's an Ayurvedic practitioner, and for the last 20 years, she's been practicing in New Jersey. She has got bachelor's in Ayurvedic medicine and surgery. She has been integrating Ayurvedic wisdom with yoga, meditation, Siddha modalities which come from the southern part of India to address ASD in children. Joining her, we have Harpinder Kaur. She is the Vice President of Herbal. This is a very important topic. We see autism spectrum disorder on the rise, and April being Autism Awareness Month, we want to bring more awareness to different communities, especially because early intervention is the key. So once you know that your child has ASD or on the spectrum, could be mild or severe symptoms, it's time to see a doctor. Tell us, Vedya Priyabala, what are the etiological factors? What's the root cause? Because when we see symptoms in a child, when they have a difficulty in communication or social interaction or repetitive behaviors and gestures, that is kind of a red flag. Tell us, what is the root cause, or do we know if there is any root cause for ASD?
So, in our practice, we see a lot of clients that have increased maternal stress during pregnancy. So there are difficulties during pregnancy, there is gestational diabetes, and a lot of stress in the emotional level and the physical level during pregnancies. And the maternal age also plays a role. We have seen that. And higher the maternal age, more the incidence of autism. And there is sometimes a family history involved and environmental exposure to toxins as well. So these are the most common causes we see, and the most predominant being in our practice, the maternal stress and the parental stress plays an important role. Yeah.
So you feel that it could be genetics, and there's not one single gene that can be causing this. It could be multiple genes. And then, of course, we see the lifestyle, the environmental factors that can contribute to ASD.
Yes. A certain percentage of the children are affected, it's genetically inherited, but not all of them.
Yeah.
They are completely normal during birth, and, later exposure to toxins and stuff like that, it actually increases the incidence of autism in the children.
Could be a weak immune system, or what is it, or deficiency?
So, you rightly pointed out the weak immune system, right? So whenever there is increased stress outside, as adults, we get affected so much with the environmental stress inside and outside. So imagine a baby, an infant, or an embryo in a mother's womb, which is exposed to such kind of stress. What would be the impact on such a little child? So it is actually a lot of influence of stress on those children. And that is what causes a weakened immune system. And this actually leads to the array of symptoms that we see in autism.
How does Ayurveda see ASD? Shares the Ayurvedic lens over here.
In Ayurveda, it is a science, very ancient science based on 5 elements, and which are in turn converted to doshas for easy assessment. And when there is an imbalance of doshas, it is called disease. And this imbalance can occur because of so many factors like diet, lifestyle, and environment, right? So in this autism, the main doshas that are involved is vata, with the basic of all 3 dosha imbalance. So Vata is the most imbalanced dosha. So in the concept of Ayurveda, how we explain is whenever there is a free flow of energies and free flow of the doshas in the channels carrying the doshas and the dhatus, then there is perfect health. So if there is a block somewhere, and especially in the Manovaha Srotas, which is the nadi or the channel that actually, it's like a neurological system in modern science. So when there is a block in there, there is a neurological deficit in the child, which actually causes the symptoms of autism. And what can cause the block is actually something called Ghara which refers to any pollutant, any pesticide, any toxins that enters the system from outside.
So how do you explain to a lay person who's not familiar with Ayurveda what are shrotas, the subtle energy system that's going on in our body? We have 72,000 naris, and so we are talking of shrotas over here, and they're getting blocked over here, and that's creating issues and imbalances.
Yeah, so energy channels are something that has to be understood through the Ayurvedic concepts only, and there is no easy way of understanding it. So, when there is energy channel, it is, as I said, it is compared to the neuron system. Like if you have to lift a finger, you have to get a signal from your brain to your finger to lift a finger. So, if there is any blockage, like a stroke or something happens, you can't lift your finger. So, the same way, if there is a block in any of the channels that control your behavior and other things, and then it's not going to be the right kind of behavior. So, that is how we have to understand this. And by using modalities that can remove the block, you can make it better.
You're using naturopathic cleansing, yoga, meditation, you're using acupuncture, acupressure points, Marma points like we see in Ayurveda, Varma Kalai that we see in Siddha, holistic healthcare discipline, which originated from southern part of India. So you're integrating all this to address these imbalances.
Correct. Correct. So one or the other modalities will definitely work because each of these modalities work at different layers in the body. Say if you're using diet and herbs, it affects the physiological functioning of the body. When you're using Vermiculai or Marma points or acupressure, it affects the life energy circulation in your body. So this is like a treatment and a holistic treatment where all the points are addressed outside and inside to give a collective healing to the children.
You are working a lot with the ASD in children. What is the age group we are talking over here?
Our youngest was around 2.5 years, and oldest, I would say, 31. But the average age is 8 years, around 8 years of age. Right. Yeah, we have seen over 90 children with autism who have undergone treatment in the Ayurvedic system and Vermiculai. So yeah, each of them have shown a different range of improvement.
I see. This is where Komal Herbals comes in, herbs, and you have formulated an herbal jam, which has been manufactured by Komal Herbals. And Harpinder Kaur, can you tell us all about it?
It was actually a very interesting collaboration between Priya and Komal Herbals because she had been using a formulation in her practice, which was a combination of 3 herbs with vermiculai and other modalities, and she was getting good results. So during one of the discussions, she said, "Can you do something because these herbs are really bitter? So is it some way we can change it into a jam which makes it easy for the kids to take every day, and there is no problem of conforming, and parents are having hard time because she prefers the herbs to be taken in the dry powder form, not to be sugar coated because." As we all know, the herbs, the first thing is the rasa, how it tastes in your mouth, and that's where the whole physiochemical changes start to happen in your body. So after a lot of deliberation and back and forth, we found a combination where we are adding good fats. The jam, so-called jam, actually doesn't have any added sugar. So it is sweet, yet without any sugar in that. So we have added healthy oils like flaxseed oil, which are good for, known for anti-inflammatory benefits. We have coconut oil, which is high good source of again MCT oil, which is again anti-inflammatory, good for brain. And the herbs are all actually good for mental health. They have been widely studied for the effects on autism, on ADHDs, and the effect, and not only pharmacologically, but also in Ayurveda, also they are called Medhya Rasayanas. So the combination that she had was very interesting and peculiar, because you will not find that formulation in the mainstream herbal formulations. And the combination of the fats with good source of I will call special sugars, like date is actually a very good source of allulose. And allulose actually is not something which will elevate or give you a high glycemic index. And autistic kids are very, very sensitive to sugar. So they cannot be fed anything which is has a lot of sugar in it. So fats with date syrup and some other sweeteners helped us in creating something which personally, apart from what Priya is offering to her clients in her practice, we also offer this, and we have sent so many of these pro bonos, like free of charge, to parents who said, we have also autism kid, can you do that? So they found out that yes, the kids do see some very positive changes. And interestingly, Priya, we recently also gave out these jams to menopausal women who were having issues with brain fog. And they came back and told us that even they had some very good results with
Definitely.
with the mental acuity. They were able to recall. They didn't have that forgetfulness, not like we normally have with menopause. So that was another side benefit we found out, that apart from autistic kids, anyone who is having issues with learning or maintaining their memory, they also have a very good result with this very simple formulation, yet very effective formulation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So clarity, giving a lot of clarity on this issue. I see that.
Yeah, it is actually. So it was a lot of back and forth. First, we tried just to have it in the powder form. But then again, they are bitter herbs. So kids, they are small, they won't understand. And most of the kids in autistic spectrum, they are very taste sensitive.
Yes.
If they say no once, they will never put anything in their mouth. So I have one personally in my own house, my brother who's on the spectrum, and also my partner has a granddaughter who's also on autistic spectrum. So we both had two people in our own families to try this product. So it was kind of interesting to work on this project, and it became something which was very, I think, close to our heart as well, on personal level as well.
So Veda Bala, how long do you give this herbal jam? Is it like 1 tablespoon every day? Or is
It's
it
1 teaspoon, Dr.
only
Renee,
1 teaspoon daily? Okay.
daily, and it is like any vitamin supplement, and it can be taken throughout. So there is no time period that you can take it or stop it. You can just take it throughout. Yeah.
And you've had good outcomes with this, along with protocols that you're putting out over here.
Yes, yes. So I would like to mention the first thing we ever focused on in autism was the digestion and the sleep quality. So these two are very important in the children with autism, because when they sleep better, the irritability reduces and they are able to focus better. And when the digestion is good and the bowel movements are regular, then you can see more difference. They are more calm and focused. So when we started focusing on these two, that's when we came up with the herbal formulation. And we tried different combinations of that. And finally, we got into what is now Clarity Jam. So, so after taking that, we have received some inputs from the teachers, caregivers, and parents of the children about how they are focusing better in class, they are sitting in one place, not throwing tantrums, etc. So we have got very good feedback on those.
So these are sustainable results.
Sustainable results, yeah. And I feel that as long as they are on the supplements, this and other few supplements, I think it goes a long way in, keeping managing the symptoms of autism.
And I talked about epigenetics, environmental factors early on.
Mm-hmm.
That plays a very big role besides the
Mm-hmm.
genetic factors that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're looking at diet, any restrictions for children when we're talking about dietary guidelines?
So the children are already on certain dietary guidelines. They are not taking milk products. They are off dairy.
Sugar.
And they are off sugars, gluten, and so they are already on those. And on top of that, Ayurveda just recommends a simple and easily digestible diet, nothing complex. So if we need to strengthen the immune system and through strengthening the digestive system, we have to give light food. So when you look at the food, it should be easy to digest. So that is the underlying thing. And we follow certain food rules that are very important for the children to follow. Of course, they cannot follow all of them, but at least one
So
or
based on the constitution, we're talking about the base of the Prakriti. Yeah.
Prakriti. Yeah. So if they're able to follow those food rules, then we go a long way in changing the symptoms. Yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And you are also doing some clinical studies on this. You're documenting the results.
Yes. So we did publish a paper on Siddha Varmakalai in the European Journal of Integrative Medicine. It includes 4 case studies on autism. So it is kind of retrospective studies, and we look forward to doing more research in this area.
How many participants did you have with our clinical study?
It is 4 individual case studies that we publish in that paper alone, but we do have around 90 cases currently, but we are looking forward to do some research on
You can show a couple of Varmakalai points for
Mm-hmm.
parents who are watching the show, for caregivers as well, so they are a little bit tuned into what needs to be done.
I can show a few points on the head that can be done because Varmakalai is a very deep science,
Yes.
and each of the points have to be done a certain way using certain fingers and using certain amount of
Pressure, yeah,
pressure.
and
So
duration of each on the point.
yes, a vibration method, everything is different for each of the point. So it is good to attend a workshop, and we do workshops around 2 to 3 times a year, free of cost through our Ashram Center for Wellbeing, which is a 501c nonprofit. So we make sure that it is a hands-on workshop, and each workshop is 2 hour long. So the parents or caregivers can attend, not the children, so they can learn properly and then apply on their children.
So the
So
children can do it themselves as well, or the parent can do it for them and apply the
parent has to do for the children. It is not it's not easy for the children to apply on themselves.
Do you use any oil as well when you're applying the pressure on the point?
Yeah, you can do it with or without oils. It is not mandatory to apply oils. You can do even without applying oils. Yeah, so I can show you the Agna point. This is called Tilartha Kalam. In between the eyebrows, and the way we manipulate it is we do meditate at that point.
Yes.
All systems of meditation, Agna meditation. This is called Tilartha Kalam in Varmakalai. So you stand on the right side of the child and use the index finger and apply gentle pressure and lift the point and hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then gently let it go back to where it was and then remove the hand. So this is the point number 1 that we teach in the Varmakalai. There are 14 points in total that we teach the parents or caregivers, which has to be done in a certain order. The 14th point, or the last one, is this little antitragus, this little part of the ear, which has to be done as the ending point of any Varmakalai session. So after doing this, we just hold this with the thumb and hold it with the index finger and move it gently back and forth 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you remove your hand. So this point is indicated to balance any mistakes that we have done while activating the Varma points.
So is it only in one ear, or are we doing on the other ear as well?
We'll do it on both ears. So you hold
Like
both
this.
ears like that with the thumb and with the index finger very gently back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then so this is the last point of any Varmakala session. There are 108 Varma points.
Yes.
And even if you're activating all of them, the last one should be this.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're doing this point over here, are you doing anything clockwise as well or anti-clockwise, or you're just holding the point?
You're just holding the point with your index finger and lifting the skin up
For 10 seconds.
10 seconds and letting it go back down. Then remove your finger. So when we do the Varmakalai session of the 14 points, what happens is we are trying to balance the left and right side of the brain. And we are also trying to balance the energies between the brain and the spinal column. So when we sleep, wake up to different activities, there is always an energy imbalance that happens, especially so in the kids on the ASD spectrum. So when we do this on an everyday basis, we recommend doing it before bedtime. So they sleep better and then everything is good on the other day.
And there are over 108 points, but the 108 are the major points that we're talking about. You give these workshops only in New Jersey, or you travel all over different parts of the United States?
We had given it in Maryland and Virginia.
Okay.
Apart from New Jersey. But if there is opportunity, we would like to give it anywhere there is help needed.
So good luck with the herbal formulation of the jam that Global Homos has come out with, using your herbal tips that you wanted, and seeing a lot of great outcomes on this. But then again, it's a whole protocol we're talking of, not just one thing. It's integrating everything, talking about yoga, meditation, Varmakalai points, we're talking about diet, we're talking about the environmental factors. All this contributes. It's not just one single modality for helping to address these imbalances.
Yes. So one thing I forgot to include is meditation.
Of course, that is the most important part.
Yes. We thought initially it will be challenging for the kids on the spectrum to meditate, but they are doing wonderfully well. The meditation what we teach is called Sushumna Kriya meditation, and it has 4 parts to it. One part is holding a mudra, and the other part is chanting Omkaras. And then there are 2 other parts to it. But these 2, they are able to do wonderfully well, and I am amazed by each child doing the mudra and chanting Omkaras. And whenever they sit with the mudra, they feel calmer. So the parents have let us know that as soon as they put the mudra, they feel calmer and they're more secure. They feel a sense of security, so that anxiety goes down. So we have seen so much benefits just with the mudra alone. So I would like to show you the mudra.
Yeah.
So that parents who are watching this video can teach it to their children. Okay. So this is called the Yoga Mudra, and it is given by Bhognath Siddhar and Mahavtar Babaji. So we hold the index fingers together, gently touching, thumb fingers together, gently touching, and then these 3 fingers gently clasped. So this is called the Yoga Mudra. It looks like this, like that. It's a diamond shaped, and they hold this whenever possible. Whenever possible. When they are scared, when they are in pain, so you put it on the lap.
On the lap. Okay.
While you're sitting down, you just place the mudra on the lap. This activates all the 7 chakras.
Okay.
So what is basically done through Varmakalai is also done by holding this mudra, because touching these 2 thumb fingers together activates the Sushumna Nadi. Touching the index fingers together activates the Ida and Pingala, which is the right and left nadis. And these 3 fingers gently clasp balance the 5 elements. So this mudra itself does a lot of balancing in the energy body. So the kids can have it as long as they
want. Okay.
as frequently they want. So we recommend the parents teach it to them when they are scared, when you don't know what is the reason for the fear, but they are scared and you can feel it. They are anxious. So at that time, if they hold the mudra, it gives them a sense of calm and security. Yeah.
So even like Mula Bandhan will do that.
Mula Bandha is not easy for the children to do at all. It is not at all easy, and it's not easy to explain to them as well.
Right.
So we don't recommend that for children.
Okay.
Yes.
This is an easy one, and most
Easy
children would
one.
be. And I'm
Very
surprised
effective.
that they can do meditation, because sometimes they have so much of anxiety. To make them sit down and quieten them is
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. For them to focus on the Agna Chakra or to focus on one place or just to sit in one place is very difficult.
Of course.
So even if they are walking around with the mudra, they're holding the mudra and just walking around the house, even that calms them down.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really interesting to know.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. This has been very insightful, how we are addressing these imbalances in ASD through naturopathic cleansing and through Ayurveda and Siddha and Marma points and meditation, of course, and yoga, and through the herbal jam that has been manufactured by Global Herbals. All this together creates a very positive impact. Thank you very much, Vedya Priya Bala and Harpinder Kaur, Ayurvedic practitioner and Vice President of Global Herbals. I am Dr. Renee Mero. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay positive.